I need to stop venting and playing myself out as a victim and then covering it up as me sharing my authentic life or explaining it in some way to where I don't come off as making myself a victim. I don't need to, but I have the desire to. And I'm not saying that's exactly or completely what I've been doing the entire time that I've been doing these YouTube vlogs, but looking back at a lot of the videos, I've realized that I am venting, and many of the titles even, I'm playing myself off as the victim, whenever I know, and I've said before, that being the victim doesn't solve the problem. It only creates more problems, and it's not what I want to be. I don't want to be the victim. I don't want to make myself a victim and just complaining and venting. Especially whenever I've created a video of me saying these words and these phrases is ruining your life. It's, what's the word? It's ironic, it's hypocritical. Now, I know I've done a lot of work, or I've put in a lot of effort to not be these things. And whenever I'm creating these videos, I am thinking about authentic ways for me to share my life and show my growth, while also trying to think of a title that grabs the attention of people, and I'm going off of what videos I've done in the past that worked the best. So one big reason why I created the video, for example, withdrawals are destroying me. It was one of my most recent video. It was based off of a video I made a year or two ago. It's one of my most viewed videos. It says, withdrawals are destroying me. And I posted a more recent one that's titled very similarly to that. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But that's playing me off as the victim. Although I'm trying to be authentic and explain what I'm going through. Because recently I have been going through a lot of withdrawals or just psychological drama in my head that's making me second guess everything. And in some upcoming videos and in a past video, I've said that I'm thinking about quitting after a year. And now at this point, I'm thinking about quitting sobriety even on a day-to-day basis. I had to talk myself out of it the past week. But that's another video. What I'm saying is, I don't want to be stuck in this victim state of mind. And I don't want to constantly vent and not actually work on the problem. But I do question if me creating these videos and talking about these things the way I am, I'm not completely venting. I do take a step back and say, wait, well, and then I say the other side, like, oh, well, it's not that bad. At least I have this, I have that. And a lot of this suffering I'm just creating with my mind. Like, I say statements like that, and I say them because I do not solely wish to just be a victim who's complaining all the time and venting. But sometimes I felt as though I'm justifying me making these videos as a way to vent. Like, for example, whenever I talk about vegan haters or anti-vegans and people that talk about the bags under my eyes and how unhealthy I look, I'll make videos about that and frame it as a way for me to just talk about the truth or talk about my authentic take and even do it in a respectable way. But then I'll kind of passively aggressively vent about it towards the vegan haters, the anti-vegans, the human beings who have different perspectives as me. And some of them are unhealthy and saying very toxic things, but see, this is me even right now. It's like, is this venting or is this just me saying exactly what's going on? I'm thinking I gotta evaluate and look at myself real deep and really every single piece of content I make, every single sentence I say inside these videos, I don't need to. Again, correcting myself. There doesn't need to be this sense of urgency. Oh, you need to live your life this way. But I desire to. I desire to live my life optimally and freely. And not as a victim. And I think I can talk about these things. I think I can. And I can do it with compassion and clarity. And I can do it without venting. But I must be honest with myself and admit that much of the time that I've been doing these videos, and some, not all of the videos and the video titles are inspired by something that upset me, and so I made a video title about it so I could vent about it and talk about it in a way to kind of jab back at whoever upset me, or whatever perspective upset me, or whatever thought made me feel like a less humor being. I'm a humor being, a human being. So I make a video so I can uplift myself again and feel like a better human being, and like I'm not completely lost. And of course, it's not the only reason why I make the video, and it is me sharing my authentic journey, and I'm sure it helps some people out, even just with some human connection of talking about something that they're going through. But again, I must be honest with myself and think, you know, I have played the victim card. I have vented instead of actually working on the problem. And there is a better way to do this, a better way to talk about it, a way to live and actually work on the problem, and then come back and make the video off of a foundation as someone who's solving the problem, not as someone who is a victim who is venting. And it's difficult many times to sustain that in life. Whenever, wait, I'm about to make an excuse. No. Well, I find that I have been triggered and pulled in by many people around me to constantly vent and play the victim card. And so my mind is telling me it's okay, but I've gone very far and so long with standing in silence at work or at home or in conversation with people and strangers. Whenever they vent about something or say something, I stand in silence rather than feeding into it. And then I catch myself whenever I'm sitting in those moments of silence, and you know, my mind starts running through like all this stuff like, oh, you could explain how you have a headache today, or you could explain how you only got 3 hours of sleep. You could say this, you could say that, you could say this. I'm like, nope. It's probably better if I just sit here in silence. So I have done a lot of work, and I've come very far, and I am grateful for that. Past me, for putting in the work and becoming the human being I am today. But if I want to continue to grow, then I have to continue to evaluate my content and not play the victim card or vent, even for views. Because sure, maybe those things do get me more views. I mean, my most viewed videos for some reason are people, or me talking about my struggles, and just whenever I'm at my lowest. I didn't actually get over 1,000 views until a couple of years ago, whenever I started these vlogs, and I just straight up like started venting about how I'm living with my parents now, how I've been smoking weed and nicotine all my life, and I haven't done as much as I'd wanted to do with my life, even though I've been grinding and I'd sacrificed so much, and I became homeless and this and that, and feeling like I wasn't there enough for my son, just venting all these things, these deep flaws of myself, and doing it in a completely vulnerable way. And you know, I took that like through the years, well, I took it in a number of ways, but one way I took it is that people like watching me vent authentically and be vulnerable about my flaws and where I'm at, and me just talk about what I'm going through. And that's a big reason why I started to continue to do these vlogs, because they were what is getting the most views on my channel. And that's what you do whenever you're trying to grow your YouTube channel. As you constantly experiment and create new videos, and then you find out which ones are doing the best, you try to recreate those videos and then keep getting better at that. And so that's what I did. But maybe, just maybe, it's not the venting, it's not the victimizing of myself that people like, and it's not the pain that I'm going through. Hopefully not. Hopefully people don't like seeing me go through pain. I don't think that's it. I'm sure most of the subscribers here are human beings who connected with what I'm saying, who it resonated with them. They went through something similar, or they empathize or sympathize with me. That's what it seems like. And so maybe, just maybe, it's not that people like seeing me vent, or they like seeing me play the victim card. In fact, I don't think people like that at all. I think what people liked about those videos is that I was being vulnerable, I was being real and authentic, and saying, hey, I did these things, I want to grow from these things. And so, reevaluating myself and my content recently, if I really want to grow, and both as a human being and physically or materialistically, this channel, the views, the subscribers, then I need to not vent and not play the victim. I don't need to. Catching myself. I strongly desire to not play the vent, to not play the victim or vent, so I can actually grow. And I can still talk about these things, but I just gotta be very conscious, and I don't want to say careful. It makes it sound like I'm walking over eggshells. I just gotta be real. I just gotta be authentic, real, conscious of how I'm saying things, and how I'm just like whenever I'm in real life talking with people, and I'm keeping myself from playing the victim card or venting about something. I consciously evaluate what I'm going to say before as I'm thinking before I say it. And I haven't been doing that as much on these videos, because it's been one of my vices. It's been one part that it's like a high. You get a little high from venting, and then I've been trying to frame it and hide it behind me authentically showing my growth. But really, I got to be real with myself. It's that I'm getting a high off of venting and victimizing myself. And part of it is growth, part of it is being real and authentic, but I could do that more. I could do better, and I will do better. So I don't know what else to say. I try to make these go on for 20 minutes, but I feel like if I just keep trying to push it, I'm just going to keep saying the same thing. So I guess this will be a shorter video. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment down below. Are you trying not to vent and victimize yourself? Do you know someone who does that a lot? Or are you going through the process of cutting that behavior out of your life? Have you already made it to the other side, where you no longer vent ever or victimize? You're the perfect, most enlightened human being with millions of dollars, and you're gonna send it to me. Not all of it, just some of it. Just kidding. You don't have to send it to me. Unless you're gonna hire me to play music for your party or your event. I would happily do that. Anyway, thank you for watching. For the animals! Woo!